Hello and welcome. The top story at this hour. Shops, malls and restaurants in Delhi will be opening from Monday the 14th of June as COVID numbers in the national capital drop to a 3-month low. However, the Chief Minister says this will be on a trial basis for a week while COVID cases are monitored to see if they rise.
Delhi will further unlock starting Monday. Shops, malls and restaurants will open as COVID cases in the national capital drop to a 3-month low.
जितने मार्केट्स हैं, मार्केट कॉम्प्लेक्स हैं, मॉल्स हैं, वो अब पिछले हफ्ते ऑड इवन था, आज कल से पूरी तरह से सारी दुकानें खुल सकती हैं 10 बजे, लेकिन 10 बजे से 8 बजे तक शाम को। और जो रेस्टोरेंट हैं वो 50% सीटिंग कैपेसिटी पे काम करेंगे।
So what is allowed and what is not? All educational institutions, social, political, cultural, religious gatherings, swimming pools, stadiums, movie halls, public parks and entertainment parks, spas to remain closed. From 10 a.m. to 8 p.m, markets and malls shall reopen while the odd-even system ends. Restaurants with 50% seating for a 1-week trial. Weekly markets with 50% vendors, places of worship but no devotees allowed, salons to open. But even as Delhi unlocks in a phased manner, an increased footfall at vegetable markets but with strict guidelines.
देखिए, जो लोग मास्क नहीं लगा रहे हैं, हम सबसे पहले तो उनसे अपील करते हैं और अगर उसके बाद नहीं मानते हैं तो उनका चालान किया जा रहा है। मंडी के अंदर लगातार एपीएमसी द्वारा चालान की प्रक्रिया जारी है, लोगों को समझाया जा रहा है। उसके बाद भी अगर कोई नहीं मान रहा है तो हम उनके लाइसेंस निरस्त करने की भी प्रक्रिया अपनाते हैं, पर अभी तक ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं है।
पिछले 2 महीने से काफ़ी लॉस हुआ है, कस्टमर्स नहीं थे और बिजनेस पर बहुत बड़ा इफेक्ट पड़ा इस चीज़ का।
देखो, वर्कर को हम 50% सैलरी तो दे ही रहे थे, जो हमारे उनके 50% सैलरी हमने दी है, अपनी जेब से दी है, वो टोटल लॉस है। वो भी कहाँ से लेंगे? जो हमारे रेगुलर कस्टमर्स हैं, मतलब रेगुलर सारे रेगुलर ही हमारे जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, उनको भी तो चाहिए पैसे, वो कैसे सर्वाइव करेंगे उसके बिना? तो हमने उनको 50% दिया, वो सब भी लॉस ही हमारा, हमने कोई अर्न तो कुछ करा नहीं है इसमें।
Like it should not be locked down, but it should be unlocked, and with protocols and all, it should be unlocked. It should be unlocked. Yeah.
With active cases below the 5,000 mark and positivity rate at 0.3% with strict protocols in place for markets, Delhi is unlocking in a phased manner at a time when it also braces for a possible third wave. With camera person Manu Nair in Delhi, Shanakshi Chakravarti for NDTV.
But after Bihar and Madhya Pradesh, now Maharashtra has added over 8,000 deaths in its data reconciliation process over the past 2 weeks. However, the state's health department officials have clarified that the reconciliation process was owing to delayed reporting of deaths and not because of underreporting or misreporting, saying there's no question of hiding the death count.
Over 8,800 deaths, or what are now being called old deaths, were added to the Maharashtra figures in the past 12 days as a part of massive data backlog exercise, taking the total tally of deaths in the state to 1.08 lakh. Since June 1, among the districts that delayed reporting these deaths are Pune, which did not report 1,368 deaths, followed by Thane, 1,167, Nagpur, 503. Other districts include Nasik, Aurangabad, Ahmednagar and Yavatmal. The single-day highest reconciled data was on Friday, which was 2,213 deaths. The Maharashtra government has been adding previous week's data in almost every state health bulletin. However, after criticism from the opposition, the state took up a massive exercise to reconcile missed data. What the state health department does each day at midnight is download the death list from the analytics portal at the state and the district level. Duplicate entries are taken out. The list is sent to districts for verification and the final list is sent to the state by 5 p.m. According to the state government, delays have happened because district level hospitals do not update real-time data, shortage of manpower due to overwhelming cases in April and May. Hospitals have been busy with oxygen and bed management during the second wave.
I will summarize by saying mortality statistics, crude data is not to be relied upon by the common man. And secondly, it is the refined statistics and which is required for planning. So, always read the data with correction factors which are necessary and which are talked earlier.
State Health Department has provided a long explanation on how it collects and collates data and denied hiding any information. It says a city like Mumbai has a system in place, but smaller districts lack the manpower and expertise to do so. In Mumbai with camera person Rajendra Dhahalkar, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.
And the Health Minister on Sunday refuted a report in an international publication that claimed that COVID deaths in India could be 5 to 10 times higher than the official number, saying the assessment is based on the extrapolation of data without any epidemiological evidence. And as India has emerged from a horrific second wave of the coronavirus, now COVID-19 treatment costs are to fall as GST rates have been cut. The centre has reduced GST rates on several COVID-related goods, especially oxygen concentrators, ventilators and drugs, to treat the black fungus infection. But by when can customers get the benefits of these reduced taxes? Here's a report.
Crucial COVID resources, oxygen concentrators, ventilators, pulse oximeters and medicines like amphotericin and tocilizumab set to become cheaper after the government's announcement of reduction in the tax rate. GST rates on medicines like amphotericin B and tocilizumab have been reduced from 5% to nil. GST rates on medical equipments like pulse oximeters, oxygen concentrators, ventilators and BiPAPs have been reduced from 12% to 5%. The opposition had demanded zero taxes on all COVID items, but the centre claims zero rating of items would require amendments in GST-related laws. Centre has earlier stated that placing such items in the zero tax category will lead to producers not being able to claim input tax credit. But for many, like 31-year-old Tarun Vadera, who struggled for black fungus medicine amphotericin for his uncle during the crisis, the decision has come too late and fear of the shortage continues.
जैसे कि सरकार ने फैसला लिया है कि जीएसटी पे हम कुछ राहत देंगे कोविड मेडिसिन को रिलेटेड, कोविड इक्विपमेंट्स को रिलेटेड, तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि इसकी जीएसटी कम करने से कोई राहत नहीं मिलने वाली, क्योंकि ऑलरेडी सबके घरों में स्टॉक ऑलरेडी हो चुका है। और दूसरा क्या है कि जिस टाइम ये महामारी आती है, मेडिसिन लेने जाते हैं तो ये मार्केट में आउट ऑफ स्टॉक हो जाता है, जिसके कारण काला बाजारी, ब्लैक मार्केटिंग ये चालू हो जाती है। तो हमारी सरकार से ये गुजारिश है कि ये ब्लैक मार्केटिंग रोकी जाए।
दवाई का जीएसटी घटाने से दवाई भी तो अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, दवाई अवेलेबल नहीं हर जगह। हम वैक्सीन के लिए 1 महीना से अप्लाई कर रखा हूँ 18+ बढ़कर, अभी तक नहीं मिल रहा है।
Currently, pharmacists are selling the existing stock at old rates and it may take some time before customers can get the benefits of reduced taxes.
इसका जो जब भी असर आएगा वो भी इम्प्लीमेंट हुआ है, इम्प्लीमेंट होते हुए 60 to 90 डेज लगते ही होंगे मार्केट का ऑल ओवर इंडिया में फैलने में, जो कुछ होगा उसी रेट पे होगा।
The reduced rates of COVID items will prevail till September 30. The opposition has objected to the time-bound nature of the scheme. Punjab Finance Minister Manpreet Singh Badal has said, this measure should be in place till the pandemic is over. COVID crisis is a once-in-a-century calamity. We need to have a more realistic and reasonable time frame, and one which is based on compassion.
The rates, of course, the reduction will be a big boost to people who are from economically marginalized backgrounds, people who find it tough to arrange finances for medicines, but availability also should be there, is what people say. In New Delhi with camera person Mohammad Mursalan, this is Sukirti Dwivedi for NDTV.
And at the G7 summit, speaking on an open society session, Prime Minister Modi shared the concern expressed by several leaders that open societies are particularly vulnerable to disinformation and cyber attacks, and stressed the need to ensure that cyberspace remains an avenue for advancing democratic values and not of subverting it. Highlighting the non-democratic and unequal nature of global governance institutions, Prime Minister Modi called for the reform of the multilateral system as the best signal of commitment to the cause of open societies. And two opposition parties in Uttar Pradesh, the Samajwadi Party and the Aam Aadmi Party, have made allegations of corruption in the purchase of property for the Ram Janmabhoomi complex in Ayodhya, alleging that the fraud had taken place with the connivance of local BJP leaders and some members of the trust that is overseeing the construction of the Ram temple in Ayodhya. Former Samajwadi Party MLA and UP Minister Pawan Pandey held a press conference on Sunday afternoon showing alleged documents that he said prove that a property located next to the Ram Janmabhoomi site in the town was first purchased by two property dealers from an individual for 2 crore rupees and then sold to the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust within a matter of minutes for 18.5 crore rupees, a multi-fold markup that Mr. Pandey said needs a CBI probe. The alleged transaction took place in March this year. According to Mr. Pandey, in his press conference, he held up documents that he claimed were stamp duty papers for both transactions. He claims they both have common witnesses, the mayor of Ayodhya and a resident of the town who is a member of the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust. Similar allegations were made in a separate press conference by the AAP leader, the Rajya Sabha member Sanjay Singh. However, the VHP leader, a key member of the trust, dismissed the allegations, calling them frivolous.
उस जमीन ने 10 मिनट के अंदर ऐसा कौन सा सोना उगल दिया कि जिस जमीन का बैनामा 2 करोड़ में हुआ 10 मिनट बाद वो जमीन 18 करोड़ की हो गई, 18.5 करोड़ की हो गई और 17 करोड़ रुपया आरटीजीएस किया गया। इसका मतलब जब बैनामा हुआ तो ट्रस्टी गवाह थे, जब रजिस्टर्ड एग्रीमेंट हुआ ट्रस्टी गवाह थे। इसका मतलब ट्रस्ट इस भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त है। 16 करोड़ 16.5 करोड़ रुपए का भ्रष्टाचार लूट हुई है। इस लूट के जिम्मेदार कौन है कि 10 मिनट में 2 करोड़ से जमीन 18.5 करोड़ की हो गई। इसकी सीबीआई जांच होनी चाहिए। लोगों ने अपने खून पसीने को काट कर चंदा दिया, राम मंदिर के निर्माण के लिए सहायता किया, सहयोग राशि दिया। लोग गली गली भटके, राम के नाम पर मंदिर बनाने के लिए पैसा धन एकत्रित किया। और अगर आज उस धन का राम भक्तों के उस धन की बंडर बांट होगी, जमीन खरीदने के नाम पे इतना भ्रष्टाचार होगा, तो मुझे लगता है देश में रहने वाले करोड़ों हिंदुओं का, हिंदुओं ही नहीं देश में रहने वाले 120 करोड़ लोगों का अपमान है।
मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम भगवान श्री राम के नाम पर कोई कल्पना भी नहीं कर सकता कि उनके नाम पर कोई घोटाला और भ्रष्टाचार करने की हिम्मत करेगा। लेकिन जो कागजात मैं आपके सामने दिखाने जा रहा हूं, वो कागजात चिल्ला चिल्ला कर कह रहे हैं कि राम जन्मभूमि ट्रस्ट के नाम पर करोड़ों रुपए चंपत राम जी ने चंपत कर दिया।
हमको आरोप लगते ही रहते हैं। मैं 100 साल से आरोप ही देख रहे हैं। हम लोग, हम पर महात्मा गांधी की हत्या के आरोप लगे। आरोप से हम चिंता नहीं करते। आप भी चिंता मत करिए, आप खूब लगाइए। यू आर यस, आई एक्सेप्ट, आई रेडी, यू आल्सो, यू डू इट। आप अपना काम करिए, हम अपना काम करेंगे।
Welcome back. Now, is the centre mulling engagement with regional parties in Jammu and Kashmir? Well, NDTV's sources have said that the centre may start an engagement process with mainstream parties in Jammu and Kashmir on the restoration of statehood and holding assembly elections. While no group has received an invitation so far, senior leaders say there are indications that the centre may start some political initiative.
Is the centre trying to reach out to J&K leaders to end the current political impasse before the second anniversary of abrogation of Article 370? Sources say there are indications New Delhi may start the process of restoration of statehood to Jammu and Kashmir and hold assembly elections in the region. The Gupkar Alliance or PAGD headed by Farooq Abdullah says they are not averse to any dialogue process.
We have never and we will never abandon any such process which provides an opportunity for the people of Jammu and Kashmir to express themselves, to get their grievances redressed. We certainly believe, firmly believe, that whatever has been done, that amounts to virtually undermining the constitutional provisions, the federal structure of the country.
Signs of some political churning were visible after Farooq Abdullah held the meeting of the Gupkar Alliance on Wednesday. The alliance of the regional parties had almost ceased to function over internal differences. The meeting discussed participation of 3 National Conference MPs in the delimitation proceedings, which will redraw the boundaries of assembly constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir.
हम लोग कोर्ट में, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, और हमने उनसे कहा है आप वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का पढ़ लीजिए, उसका जवाब आ जाए हमें डिलिमिटेशन की जो चेयरमैन हैं वो भी सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जज रहे हैं, उनसे जवाब आए तो उसके बारे में फिर हम फैसला करेंगे।
The BJP says they are committed to the restoration of statehood and holding assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir.
BJP was always committed to hold elections in Jammu and Kashmir. Not only this, as per the statement of our Honorable Home Minister Mr. Amit Shah, the restoration of statehood was a prime goal after the abrogation of Article 370. But what amuses me is the sudden change in the stand of certain Kashmiri leaders.
Ceasefire announcement by India and Pakistan along the line of control in February was the first major peace initiative in Jammu and Kashmir after abrogation of Article 370. Possible engagement by the centre with local leadership could be a major shift in New Delhi's approach on Jammu and Kashmir. In Srinagar, Nazir Masoodi for NDTV.